So we're gonna have to get off here and go have, go relax and chill. And
Have some cookies.
no, you can't have any cookies.
Why?
You already had your cookie for the night.
Okay, you guys, welcome back. Welcome if you are new here. Brace yourselves because we are talking about the dad and daughter dream team again. And if you have been on my channel for a little bit, you know we have talked about them a few times here, but it's been probably 6 months, maybe even 7 months at this point since we have discussed them. And I'm pretty sure I even said at one point that I didn't know if I would ever talk about them again. I genuinely needed a break. It was just getting dark. Every time I checked in on their content, it somehow felt worse than the last time. And after Patrick's admission, I just needed to take a break from all of it. But recently, I came across a few clips from their live videos, and they really disturbed me. Enough so that I thought, okay, maybe it's time to dive back into this and just see what they've been up to lately. And I don't know how this is even possible, but they're at an all-time bad. Like, somehow they've gotten worse. I didn't think they could top how uncomfortable that they used to be, but they did. So buckle up and let's get into it. But before we talk about that, a quick break for today's sponsor. Babbel is the sponsor of today's video, and honestly, the timing is perfect because I've been trying to reset my habits this spring and also work toward my dream trip to Italy. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world, and what I love is how practical it is. It teaches you to have real conversations, not just memorize random words. I've been using it to learn Italian for that future trip, and I can already say things like mi chiamo and dove al bagno, which I feel like is going to come in handy. The lessons are super quick, like 10 minutes. So it's easy to stay consistent, and they're designed by real language teachers, so everything actually makes sense and feels useful for real life situations. Plus, it's been shown that you can start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. So if you are also trying to build better language habits this spring or plan a future trip, this is a really easy place to start. Make sure to click the link in the description below or the pinned comment to get a 55% discount to get you started today. And thank you to Babbel for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so if you don't know who I'm talking about, definitely go back to my old content because, like I said, I think we've done 6 videos on them, and I'm going to link my dad and daughter playlist in the description so you can go check those out if you're not familiar. Because today we're not going to be going over any of the old content, we're just going to be talking about new stuff. So you definitely want to catch yourself up. And just a forewarning, it is a rabbit hole and it's not like a fun one, it's a dark, disturbing rabbit hole. So you've been warned. But okay, so long story short, where we left off last time was that Patrick himself confirmed that he was the author behind a literary story about a father and daughter. Yeah, that's basically where I needed to tap out, where I needed to take a break because it was one of those things where we knew all along, but it wasn't until he confirmed it himself that it really just cemented everything for me. And you would think with all of that coming out, plus tons more, again, go watch my older videos if you have not already, but you would think that that would be enough, that they would have just left social media altogether, right? But not Patrick and Sarah. I don't think that either one of them are capable of leaving TikTok ever. Their main account, that was formerly known as the Dad and Daughter Dream Team, has been rebranded to the Getchell Family. And with that change, they've had the entire family participating on the account, including Sarah's 16-year-old brother. And I mean, I feel like that could be its own whole video because Sarah herself has said in the past that she is the one that homeschools her brother. So, I mean, right there, Patrick has made it a point that none of his family interacts with the real world or in the real world without him. Okay, but first, let's start with a lighter update before we get into the heavier stuff. So they moved again, and this seems to be an actual apartment, not an extended stay, and they all moved together. Yeah, if you remember, there was some elaborate lie that they had made up that Sarah had got her own place. She made an Amazon wish list. People sent her stuff to furnish her space when it turned out that she hadn't moved at all, but they had just rearranged the place that they were already staying at to make it look like she had moved. But now that they have all moved, Sarah makes a point to say that we signed the lease on our new apartment.
We got it. We picked up the keys this morning, we signed the lease, we paid the first month's rent. Our new apartment is officially ours. So enjoy some clips of the new place, and yeah, we move in tomorrow.
And maybe one of you guys can let me know because I couldn't figure it out. Was the office job that Sarah claimed to get last fall, was that legit? Because from what I'm seeing, it seems like Sarah isn't working. I saw someone comment on her personal TikTok talking about who cares if she chooses not to work a 9 to 5 and things like that. Well, that office job was full time, so either that wasn't true or she no longer works there.
Yes, I know it takes money to pay bills, which is why I don't need a job because I live in my parents' house. They take care of the bills. They make enough to take care of the bills.
Just be a server, it's easy money.
Yeah, and get absolutely nothing.
I don't know. Let me know. But from what it seems to me, at least, is that social media is her job. Patrick still works outside the house, but he is heavily involved in the TikToks. And I think they're trying to make TikTok their full time gig for everyone in the family, hence having all family members now participating in their Getchell family TikTok. I think that's part of the name change. And Patrick also could have wanted to, attempt to take some of the attention off of his dynamic with Sarah, which you'll see here in a minute he is failing at miserably. And you know what? As crazy as it seems, they very well might be on their way to making that dream of becoming full time influencers work. I kid you not. That's what Patrick himself refers to them as is influencers.
We will no longer be the lolcows they want us to be. We will have established ourselves as serious influencers. And that scares them more than my Gill obsession.
They do live videos every single night, and people send them money every single time. In fact, just as of yesterday, or maybe, I don't know, 2 days ago at this point, from the time I'm filming this video, they did a live and someone sent them a lion.
Remember with the road.
Courtney with a lion!
What?
Thank you so much, Courtney, with that.
So if you're anything like me and you had no idea what having a lion sent to you means in the world of TikTok and why they got so excited, well, it means that somebody sent them $400. 400 freaking dollars to these people. Can you even imagine sending this family a penny, let alone $400? Why does anyone send any random person that they don't even know money on TikTok? But yeah, between people sending them money, the views they are getting, which aren't terrible to be honest, plus Sarah does TikTok shop stuff, which I don't know if she has any success with that, but I feel like they probably make a little chunk of change each month, and likely being that they all live in a smaller apartment together and the three adults share the bills, they probably don't actually need that much money or to be making tons and tons of money off of TikTok. So, could we see them become full-time content creators this year? Full-time influencers? Something scary to ponder. Okay, so we are going to be looking into some more of their some clips from their TikTok lives they've done recently here in a minute, but first, we need to talk about a meet and greet that they have planned for this summer 2026. Because if you've ever thought, wow, this family is amazing and I want to barbecue with them, or maybe you want to try one of Patrick's famous dill chili dogs. Not kidding. Here's your chance. You get to. But unfortunately, if that is you, you will have to wait because they have reached their registration limit, plus some other issues have come up. because apparently trolls got their park reservation canceled. So now it's just a meet and greet. But Patrick also promises that if you want him to cook for you, you want some of his dill dogs, he will make it happen.
Well, I knew our trolls would run with this, but I didn't think they would run with it this far. Like, they actually got our reservation at River Legacy canceled. And they think that's going to stop us.
It's amazing how these people seem to think they can stop us. And the comments on our videos, they're just like off the wall funny.
I mean, seriously, guys, thanks for all the engagement. But do you really think that we believe people are actually flying in from Australia or Italy or canceling their wedding just to come to see us?
It's so funny how people think we're actually that gullible. That said, we do know that there are actually people who are coming.
They're not coming for the chili. They're not coming to troll us. They are coming to meet us. Yes, we have real fans. I know y'all don't believe it, but we do. And we pretty much know who they are.
So it's been fun making the trolls go crazy, trying to shut us down or scare us off or anything to stop this from happening. Because when it does happen and we post videos about it, they'll lose so much traction.
We will no longer be the lol cows they want us to be. We will have established ourselves as serious influencers. And that scares them more than my guilt obsession. If you want me to cook, I will still cook, okay? I'm not backing out of that. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Something too that is really bizarre about that whole meet and greet is that when the registration was open, there were questions that people had to answer, like, why did you want to go? What's your TikTok? Oh, and are you bringing any children? Yeah. They wanted a head count on how many kids were coming. Not adults, kids. And also, why would anyone bring their kids to an event like this? Why would anyone bring themselves, their dogs, their mailman, anyone to this barbecue? I don't get it. I'm very curious how all of that plays out, if it even happens. Patrick claims they do have real fans, and hey, maybe one or two. I mean, someone did just send them $400, but the majority of their fan base is not actual fans, and he knows that. But my question is, if they do have legitimate fans who actually love them, as he claims, who would that be? I mean, with what this man admitted, what he's known for, all the allegations against him, why would anyone be a fan of him? Birds of a feather flock together, right? Because that's all I can think. Okay, so because they go live every single night, there is definitely some clips I want to show you. The first one being the one I saw that made my stomach churn.
So we're gonna have to get off here and go relax and chill and
Have some cookies.
no, you can't have any cookies.
Why?
You already had your cookie for tonight.
Yeah, disturbing, right? A lot of people clipped this, and to be fair, I was reading comments saying that they had baked cookies prior to this live, and so they were referring to literal cookies. But it's the way that Patrick worded it, and just everything that we know about him and the situation. Of course, it's natural that people got weirded out by that clip, myself included. And you know what? Maybe all he really was referring to was eating a singular cookie, maybe. But that truly is only the beginning of all of the bizarre things that have come out of their daily 7 p.m. on the dot sharp lives. So Patrick is in the majority of lives, whether he is sitting right next to Sarah or in the background chiming in. But Teresa is also in a lot of the lives, usually in the beginning, and then Patrick takes her place as the live goes on. More on that situation in a minute because people definitely have a theory on that. But if you do remember from one of the other videos I did where we talked about how Teresa almost seems like the third wheel, well, that dynamic, it hasn't changed. In fact, tensions have almost gotten higher. There is a clip I'm going to show you where Patrick gives Teresa attention, and Sarah sort of gets irritated when she doesn't receive the same attention from her dad.
So she gets I love you and I get a pat on the head?
I love you too.
Thank you.
And actually, there's this clip that I found on Reddit, and it's very strange because Teresa interrupts Sarah and Patrick and says, "Oh wait, to Patrick, I forgot to give you a kiss." So that has a lot of people wondering, why would she even say that? Is she being told to show affection to Patrick on the live videos to sort of get people to lay off of the other allegations? Like, see, I love my wife, she loves me, Sarah is my daughter. How sick of any of you guys to think otherwise. So I haven't actually been on any of these lives. Like I said, I've been taking a break for the last few months, but there are plenty of people who are tuning in nightly and saving clips for the rest of us who are unable to watch. Okay, so real quick, this is the editing version of me popping in. I decided to reword this section, sort of just present the clips for you and let you draw your own conclusions on what could or could not be happening. In many of the lives, Teresa is visibly tired as the video goes on, to the point where she is tipping over and Sarah is nudging her. Like, she'll start out fine, and as the video goes on, she cannot stay awake. I've definitely read some theories that have people really concerned for Teresa. I don't know what's going on. Does she work? Is she up really early because of that? Either way, it does seem like maybe they should either do the videos earlier for her sake or not have her in them. I don't know. Either way, she, a lot of the times, will end up going off to bed, and then Patrick will be right there to take her place. So, like I said, I definitely saw some theories, but decided for the sake of the video to just present you with what people are consistently noticing and let you come up with your own theory. But I will not be taking out this next part because I stand by it and I can't stand Patrick. So back to the video. I had to add this part in again because Patrick has fessed up to being the author of the Literotica. So at this point, we literally can't put anything past him. He is a disgusting pathological liar who isolates his family from the rest of the world, and that's putting it nicely. And so, with that and everything else, of course, a lot of people are truly concerned not only for Sarah, but now for Teresa as well. There's a lot of people wondering, does she know everything going on with Patrick, or is she kind of kept in the dark?
Why are you staring at Thomas?
I'm not, I'm reading
Ugh.
Whoops.
There's a lot of speculation on what her cognitive level is, and I'm not about to diagnose anyone, but I mean, we have been seeing since early on that many times Sarah does seem to step into the caretaker, motherly, even wife position in the household, while Teresa kind of just seems like she's just there for the ride. But there are also a lot of people who think, no, she is just as bad as Patrick for allowing things to continue the way that they are. In my opinion, this is just from everything that I've seen over the last year, year and a half. I think Teresa does have some cognitive challenges. Again, not diagnosing, but from all the clips we've seen of her, I think it's clear that she may need some extra support or, time to understand things. And so I do think it's a fair question to ask. Does she even know about the stuff with Patrick? Does she know he wrote the story? For all we know, she doesn't have her own phone or access to the internet unless she is using Sarah or Patrick's phone. And on various lives, you can see her trying to read comments, and it will be of people saying, Sarah, tell your mom. And when Teresa asks about what does that mean? Sarah just says, don't worry about it. So, yeah, a lot to unpack there, and it's very sad. It is very sad to sort of watch. But after Teresa goes to bed, Sarah and Patrick continue the live videos together. And again, like the older videos of them dancing together and, deeply gazing into each other's eyes and looking like a couple, their lives are no different. But yeah, as of now, it does seem like their main focus is grifting, dry begging on TikTok. They are at the point where they're not really even trying to hide that because they have a whiteboard in the back of their lives and they will write people's name on it who send them gifts on the lives, which gifts is money. And they really don't answer many questions anymore. They just talk about the gifts and really only interact with the gifters. I don't know how long they can keep this up, but they are making hundreds a night, which is absolutely wild to me because, again, who is sending them money and why? You know, if you've been following, you'll know that last fall, Sarah was talking about how excited she was to finally have some independence, getting her own place, starting a new job, maybe even going on dates. She said all of that, those were all her words. But then the whole moving situation turned out to be a lie. So now it's hard to know what was real and what wasn't. Because at this point, it doesn't seem like there's any real push towards independence or even interest in dating, anything like that. In the way that she handled that last year, lying about the move and getting people to buy things for her, it was messed up. There's really no other way to put that. She's an adult, she's not a kid anymore. But at the same time, I can't ignore the bigger picture. Sarah didn't just end up like this overnight. This is years and years of conditioning, going all the way back to her childhood. Even with access to resources that could help her get out, I honestly don't know if she ever will. And to me, it all comes back to Patrick. The way she acts, the immaturity, going along with everything he does, the mistreatment towards her mother, it all traces back to him. At the end of the day, even though Sarah has done some questionable things, even though she's an adult, I still see her as a victim. I think that Teresa is too, and I think Patrick is going to do everything he can to keep that control, including keeping them more isolated from anyone who might be able to get through to them. I mean, there's a reason why a 24-year-old woman wants to play house with her dad, has no desire for a real job, a love life, even a social life. And in my opinion, it is because of years and years of conditioning from Patrick to think that this is normal, to think that he is all that she needs. Remember, the only friendship he allowed was with an actress who they would sometimes see at a paid meet and greet. Any job she ever seems to get never lasts. Sarah still posts on her regular account that is just her, and she doesn't post very often. When she does, it usually has to do with TikTok Shop or defending her life and her life choices in the comment section. As far as future plans go, she has been talking about wanting to do ministry work alongside opening a dog shelter, which sounds great in theory, but right now, any real step towards being out in the real world and on her own, it just does not seem to be happening. The reality is, she'd have to recognize that something isn't right, and we've been saying this all along, before she could actually seek help or use any of the resources that are available to her. And I just don't think she is anywhere close to that yet. And she might never be. I've seen people criticize her, and I do understand why, especially the lying. That part is valid. But at the same time, I feel bad for her. I do see her as a victim. What we've seen of her dynamic with Patrick is really just a small window and only what we have seen in recent years. I don't think that we can even begin to fully grasp what her childhood was like or how deep this all goes. And I just hope that one day she is able to, get out from under Patrick's influence and kind of just relearn what a healthy family or learn, not relearn, learn what a healthy family dynamic is supposed to look like and just what real independence can actually mean. I've said this before one other time on my channel about something that we talk about, that this will be someday the topic of a Netflix documentary. I said that about the Saccone Jolies, and I still 100% stand by that. There are still things going on at that family just as of yesterday that I screenshot for a future video. So stay tuned for that. But I also think that the dad and daughter dream team will also be the subject of a future Netflix documentary, Hulu, one of those type of places or, companies. That's my bet. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to cover them again. Maybe this will be a topic that we circle back to out of morbid curiosity every once in a while, but let me know what you think about this all. Have you been here since my first video, since I've covered them? Definitely let me know. And have you been continuing to follow them, or did you, like me, kind of just take a break? Definitely let me know. And I would say if you enjoyed this video to give it a thumbs up, but that does not seem like the right way to word things. So maybe just give this video a thumbs up because I would really appreciate it. But yeah, and again, thanks so much for being here. As always, I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.